Yo, Banter fan, what's happening? I hope you're all doing fantastic. I am spending the Daddy Sniper spending the time at home today, spending some time with the little one. We're at the hospital this morning, just getting the registration done. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. Who was that? Carl, was that you that put in the game as the intro? Was that you, brother?
Yeah, bro. Sorry, I
Have you
thought
had your coffee or did you drink too much tequila this morning? I
it's
think you must have
Ran again.
replaced
He's
it, brother.
giving, he's bringing tequila back into the
Yeah,
building here. So
I know it's bull market, but you got to start with coffee and then go on tequila. Don't go tequila first and then coffee. Otherwise, we're gonna keep having the small little mistakes. Guys, Kyle is gonna be on with us just now. Remember, he spoke about that key $46,000 zone and his analysis last week. He'll be giving his analysis later on in the show as well, because now we've smashed through that. And now what we are seeing is Bitcoin went to the 200-day moving average. And that's why we're getting a little bit of traction here. And we're not traction, but we're slowing it down a little bit at this range. And it's important, guys. You know, we've only cracked this 200-day moving average once and twice in the last 2 years, which was massive. The last time we had this, we could see when we broke through it and we held it, we had an absolute rampage. And the time before that was when we recovered from the May crash. And then we finally broke through it. And you could see both times by us breaking this significant level on how the market likes to react after it. A lot of traders use it, and I think a lot of retail in that watch this as well, and it could indicate a FOMO signal as well, which can start giving us good indications on how big this move can actually be. Because I think we keep forgetting, we go back and we see, wow, like look at the moves that Bitcoin's made before, and you look at this one over here, and you look at this one, and you look at this little leg over here. And we're all starting to get excited now, guys. It may not have even started just yet. We could be getting at a very exciting stage. And remember, I'm still looking at you guys still being 10% of the retail. The retail are still coming. So a massive show coming up. I'm also going to be going through a lot of the altcoin resets on where we want to be adding some more to our portfolio. If you guys are watching the show and you are part of the show, you're going to be buying, whenever we are buying the tokens we want, we're buying pullbacks and we're buying them in sweet spots so that we can ride the beautiful runs. Look how great we did in the last week. And that's something I want to keep teaching you guys. I'll be giving you the alt update, Bitcoin updates. We'll get Kyle on the show as well. You know what? I hope you got that coffee ready and maybe even tequila. It's a little bit cold this side, so I got this one ready for today. And if Bitcoin does break the 48,000 mark during the show, I'll be having 2 of these just to pick up the vibes a bit, and hopefully we can smash this 200-day moving average. Guys, it is time. Get the F out of bed. Let's bomb. Yo, Banter fam, what's up? I hope you're all having a great Tuesday today. To anyone that is new, make sure you Will Smith that like button. I actually love that. I keep seeing in the comment. Smack that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you join all of our social media platforms. Follow myself on Twitter, Sheldon_Sniper. Make sure you're following our website. You get a lot of alpha there every single day. And make sure in all of our Telegram groups, show a lot of love. That's where we can connect with you guys and help you throughout this whole run. It's been a journey, guys. It's been an absolute journey. And it's good for us the guys that remained in these last 3 months. I know it's been tough, guys. I feel like a wounded soldier, like we've just been through damn war. And I think I still got a little bit more energy left for this bull run. And I think, another important lesson, don't tire yourself out in a crap market, because when the bull time comes, you got to be awake, because look at all of a sudden, we're looking at a market where we've obviously had a good Bitcoin erupt in the last few days. But, we look at the week and we're like, wow, okay, you know what, like things shift very quickly as well. And we finally get to that stage now where the whole market starts to explode. So well done to those. To anyone who is new, join the family and let's get into it. Let's have a look on what is happening right now with Bitcoin and what we can be looking at next. I still have a lot of resistance on Bitcoin, which is sitting around the $48,000 to the $52,000 zone. That's sort of where I'm seeing us going still from here. I feel that the market is starting to slow down a little bit. I'm just talking Bitcoin wise. I see the alts are still erupting. And that's what's sort of giving me indication that Bitcoin's still a little bit slower grind to the upward side, but alts still catching up. And I still think there's a bit more growth on the alts. And then I know a decent, nice little pullback is coming. Now, remember what happened here. We broke out of sideways range. Now the pattern has changed, which means the strategy changes completely. And what I mean by that is big moves, bigger corrections, big moves, bigger corrections, where you don't get caught now in chasing too much of the big moves because there's always decent corrections that come through. Remember, you got 50 to 100% pumps within the market, and then you got 20, 30% dumps. And that's where you always want to be capitalizing, because if you can get on the good run of learning to be buying these pullbacks during a run, you will see how you will always get sweet entries for the next leg to the upward side. And that's sort of how we want to treat when a bull cycle comes, where it teaches you not to chase those pumps, but wow, that one's finally broken daily trend. It's finally giving me the bullish signals that I want to be in this coin. So let me see where's the zones I want to buy that coin. Let me be stingy with my entry. And that's where I want to be loading up. And I'm going to be helping you guys get this into your brain over the next few weeks on how we detect where they're going to go next, where we want to buy them, and where we can see the upside levels are to the upward side. So Bitcoin's at this key level. I do think, I think we can possibly just break through the 200-day moving average. I don't think we're going to have the full break just yet. Ideally what we do want to see, and it's actually quite scary to see that, if Bitcoin does continue to erupt here, it can, guys. Bitcoin's only done this little leg. It can do a bigger leg. But you can see in between how it has these quick little moves. Now, another little trick about this as well is when you're looking at entering on any of the new altcoins, right? The ones that are looking juicy, you want to get in. You got to start setting limit orders because you're not going to be quick enough for the market buys. Because we erupt so quickly, they come down very quick. And as you can see here, we literally have 8 to 9 days of Bitcoin trailing upwards, but then literally 2-3 day correction. And then it has another 8-9 days of upwards and then a 2-3 day correction. So the corrections are very quick at times. And this is where you want to set some limit orders in so that you can trigger, get that sweet entry, and you can continue. And a market order might be quite tough to get in at the specific point. So what I am still looking is 44K is my support for Bitcoin. That's my load up zone for what I missed. We should be in a lot of altcoins now and a lot of positions within the last weeks. And with those now, we're happy. We're smiling. We've got beautiful entries, and those are going to do well for us with the next few weeks to come. I still think April is a big month for crypto. And if it really wakes up, we can actually be quite shocked on where Bitcoin can get. But this is my zone where I want to load up. Now, does that mean the temporary top is in? I don't think so just yet. I do think we have the 50 to the 52K zone as our next top for Bitcoin. And why I'm saying that is because if Bitcoin, if we're really looking weak at that sort of point, you could see how dominance is still very clearly in the altcoins' favor. And we can see how dominance is still showing that there's still some meat left within the altcoins. So it's just saying that the altcoins are catching up now, and then we'll have a whole market retrace. The difference is, though, is now we're having Bitcoin slowly grinding up. We have dominance coming down. If Bitcoin has a small correction now at any point where, let's say, it comes down 10% or 15%, the dominance is very likely to go up. And if the dominance goes up, then at least we know that the altcoins are going to have the bigger correction, which makes sense, right? Bitcoin didn't grow these percentages in the last week. It only grew 20% or in that region. The alts are making 100%. So it means they'll have, Bitcoin a 10% correction. Altcoins can have a 20% correction, which does sound quite, rough. Like, wow, 20%. That's not much at all. That's taken ETH back to 3.1, where it just came from $2,000 all the way, $2,300, $400. It just went all the way to 3.4. Pull back to 3, continue to 4, pull back to 3.5, and then a continuation upwards. So at least we have that great understanding there. And as I was saying, Bitcoin dominance is still showing beautiful trend to the downside side. I'm very happy with this chart, and I think it's something we must always use in the future as it shows a really, really good sign for us. And we are waiting for this little moment over here. Let's just zoom in here, where we have that short-term little correction of the USDT, where guys take a little bit of profits from this last 2-3 weeks, and then we can have a full deploy into the alts. And this is where I see dominance going back down to the lower ranges again. I still don't think, maybe in the future, I still don't think dominance will go much above 46 or 48% for now, maybe in the future, but I think we're going to hit the 30% on a next really strong rally within the alts, which is massive for the altcoins. So this is really good for us, and everything is still marking the checks and looking good. So what I do have, let's finalize quickly on Bitcoin so I can get into these alts and get to where we're looking at. So I do have the big zone, which is showing the 50 to the 52 zone, and we have the 200-day moving average. A breakthrough that will start getting the retail super interested now, and we can start seeing a lot more FOMO. Now, remember, do you see how we are not really tapering really much upward side in volume right now? We're getting volume up, but it's not really the shoot. The true volume comes in this stage here when the big guys are loading up. Then they get it to a specific point because now they've filled their bags enough. And then now retail starts to take over. And that's when you start getting a trending market upwards, but you have volume trending downwards because the big guys are in already. So they don't need to be adding big bags anymore. Now the retail come in and you start getting the FOMO to the upward side. So let's jump in now, because this is going to play too for both sort of scenarios, not scenarios, but sort of audiences that we're looking at. We have the guys that have been trading a lot more with the shorter time views, and I've been taking a lot of profits on my short-term trading portfolio as I've been talking, because I want to catch the next, I've made really, really good money within the last 2 weeks, and on my trading portfolio side, I'm banking profits as we start moving upwards, and I'm going to be catching them on the retest. But now when it comes to investment side, guys, is everything is broken structure for the investors. The investors now are interested. Like for you to get great alt entries, you should be, if your eyes weren't open the last 2 weeks, like now's the time they start to be opening, which means you got to be buying them in the right spot too. So what I am seeing with ETH now is the same thing. ETH, I still see a little bit more growth before we have the correction. Why am I saying that? Because we've broken through resistance, the last resistance that I had in the zone, and we've broken through all the other ones. And the next resistance is only showing me the next one at 3.6. So when I have no more resistance, it doesn't usually, we don't usually get a turning point when there's no resistance. Remember, resistances is where they can keep walls, where they can put a sell wall, these sort of levels, and they're very, very accurate. And right now, we don't have any resistance sitting here between where ETH is at this point. It's broken through this top over here, and that's why for me, it's still, we test the next resistance. This has been a really long run for ETH. So now, at least I know now a short-term pullback at any point makes sense, and then off to the next sort of move. And that's sort of what I'm seeing from the whole market. I'm seeing from Bitcoin going to the 50K or 52, pull back to the 46 or the 45 zone, and then a shoot through to the 55K zone again. And remember, there's not much resistance on Bitcoin right now. And that's why you're not getting big sell bars just yet. I do think the correction's coming, and it's going to come quick. And then I think we're going to continue the journey. And that's why you got to get those limit orders done. So I'm looking then at the correction of ETH coming back down to 3.1 in that zone. Between 3,000, 3,200 is my sweet spot. Now, as an investor, if you don't have enough ETH and you want more ETH, I'm waiting for that entry. It's just going to teach you guys not to chase the pump. As the short-term traders, I'm taking some profits here on your trading portfolio, not your hodl. And I'm loading up more on this zone over here. And then the next leg, I'm seeing a strong push up. Now, that makes sense with the USDT dominance, right? Small little correction, big leg to the downward side. So that's how we're looking on ETH. If we jump on Cardano, same thing. Cardano's woken up well. As an investor, you are interested again because there's volume coming into Cardano again. We are now looking at more fussy entries, and this is the same thing. Strong push up. Anything that has a strong push up, we do get a correction at some point. And same thing here. Anywhere between 1.2 to 1.4, short term, I'm taking some sort of profits. Then, as an investor, guys, remember what happened here on Cardano. This is a long downwards trend. As an investor, you should be very interested in Cardano for the next few weeks because it's finally broken strong and we're getting volume back in. But this is where I want to buy it. So short term, I'm taking some profits here, and I'm buying short-term and invested entries at the zone here. And all that is we finally broke this high and this resistance point over here. So when we break it, we come test it and we continue it. Very simple, very easy. So Cardano, that's where I want to buy it. I want to buy it back between the $1 and call it nearly the 1.10 to the 1.05. That's where I'm loading up. And the same thing with this. I'm then seeing, now if this goes here and shoots here, we broke through all these resistances here. The next resistances are up here. Now we've got one that's sitting at 1.6, and we've got the next one which is sitting at 1.2. So what does that do for me? It gives me a little image now. Remember now, RSIs, guys. We go look at the RSIs. They're high. We cannot deny that the stochastic RSIs are high. So we know a short-term pullback's coming. But what I'm looking at here is for this to have a nice shoot back down to this zone over here. And then the next leg will take me up to the next zones of resistances. And those ones are the ones that are sitting in this zone over here, which is basically the 1.8 to the $2 region. So it shows you how big the next leg is as well. So don't get FOMO crazy on the first leg. There's still more legs to come. And that's where you want to be stocking up. So that's how I'm seeing Cardano. I want to see the daily come down. I want to see us load up in that zone. I'm dollar costing there. I got a nice little trend line that's there as well to help me out. That's what's beautiful, guys. We're on this journey together. When we are correcting on the next one, I'll be here and we'll be getting the next damn beautiful entries again, as long as we're catching rhythm. So RSIs are quite high. The next one, which is good, and this one's still looking good for me as an investor now. I would like to get a little bit of a better entry as a short-term trader, as you know, your range will be quite big if you put a stop loss now or anything on these. But Tezos, look at Tezos now, guys. Tezos only recently broke the daily trend. There is a test which we haven't tested yet, which is the $3.5 region. And as a short-term trader, that's where I want to catch it. But as an investor, I want to be dollar costing anywhere in this zone over here, which is between the 3.5 and the 3.8 zone is where I want to be getting in. We finally broke the first higher high. What does that mean? It means all these highs were lower than each other. And for the first time, we have smashed a higher high. And this means reversal. And at any point, I'm looking at maybe now where we go there first, where Tezos shoots through to this zone over here, then pull back there in continuation. That's why as a short term and an investor, I'm interested in the zone because there's gains to be made either way. Or from here, short pullback here, and then we shoot through to this zone. So Tezos is showing me the potential of another 80 to 90% within the next leg. So I remember, I want to catch the ones that haven't done a rune just yet, which I'll get to yet. I took a little bit of profits too early on that one, but I'll show you why the strategy works fantastic. But you want to catch the ones that are early enough for that, because we know now the volume comes through when we finally break these daily trends. So Tezos is a beautiful one. The next one now, Atom. Now, Atom's only breaking. Do you see why I'm saying a little bit more growth from the altcoins before we have a Bitcoin correction? Because only some of them are starting to break daily trends now. Dominance is pointing downwards. So there's still a little bit more meat to come within the altcoins. So Atom now for me, Cosmos, great fundamental project. You know, daily trend now, short term, I'm interested. Stop loss under previous low. So stop loss around 27, 28 is my stop loss. But this for me is looking good. And a breakthrough of the 200-day on Cosmos can send us well into the 38 to the $42 region. So I'm sort of looking the same thing with Cosmos here. Either short term now here, and then a big leg there, or we hit the strong leg first. Hit the strong leg first, small pullback, and then the continuation. But this for me shows a really good progress. I'm catching it early. So Cosmos is looking fantastic. Let's go look at Solana. Solana, same thing. So Solana's just out of our buy zone now, but I think Solana's still got a bit more upside before we have a correction. And what I'm looking at is we have one more resistance, which is sitting at 122, and then the next one sitting at 140. So from here, I'm looking at Solana rally to this region over here. I'm not interested short time frame as it's not sweet for me. Investor-wise, I'm dollar costing, but I'm dollar costing in the region of $98 to the $110 region. So either I'm catching a little bit now for this little push up, you know, yes, but I'm waiting for the sweet spot entry and then the continuation up here. This is where I want to load up. Investors, you guys need to be damn picky as an investor, because you buy these coins and you hold them through a whole bull cycle and your brain will explode what they look at. You know, you're not fussy. You are fussy, if I can call it, sorry. You're not a FOMO guy. Don't FOMO. So Solana, a bit more upside, load up there. Remember, Solana to BTC is looking great, and the growth here is tremendous for Solana to BTC. So I agree with the guys. I still think, I know Luna's pumping, and we'll get through Luna now shortly. I still think Solana can beat it. Who thinks it? Solana or Luna to $250 first? They're like right by each other. Who's going to do it? I still think Solana can possibly do it first. Let's see. Only reason is because if you look at the difference in charts, you know, the one is like beautiful downtrend. The other one is completely in upward side. And when the one's on complete upward side, I'm like, okay, there's growth, but there's not crazy growth, where this one is showing me massive growth. If you have a look, if Sol to BTC just rallies up to here, you know, we can be looking at an outperformance of 58 to the 80% region of Bitcoin. So that means how it's going to outperform Bitcoin. Now, if Bitcoin goes to 60K in that time, you're still looking at Bitcoin growing 50%. What's Solana going to do? But I want to catch that entrance. I want to catch that nice pullback zone as well. Now, AVAX as well. AVAX had a beautiful rip. You know, the event everything's starting to work quite well there. It's not showing me crazy amounts of momentum just yet, but it's showing me that it can come. It's definitely reversed. And that's the main thing, that we've been trending down lower highs this whole point, and we have finally started to reclaim higher highs, and it's now starting to show strength. My sweet spot, though, is still sitting at 75 to the $85 zone for my investors. Definitely. I think that's the spot. And remember, when we break through a resistance trend and we start to change trend, we then start to form a new trend. And this is what I like to call a momentum line, is we finally change structure. We're no longer in a downtrend. Now we're moving upwards. But how fast are you moving up? So how do I do that? I just track it with a line. And every time we test those lines, remember, guys, it's another beautiful strategy again. The further we start going away from this line, that's a momentum line. The further we start going away, many times we come back and test that line and continue, and test that line and continue until we start picking up the momentum. So I always want to be tracking, if I want to be loading up on a coin, buy it on its momentum line, because that's where it's always come and tested again. It's not moving. If you actually look at it, that's how fast AVAX is moving. It's not actually moving crazy just yet, which means the time is still to come. So I'm looking at AVAX to completely smash a proper higher high for us from here. So make its way to the $100 region, then a test to this zone over here, and then the continuation. And this is where I'm super interested to load up. This is still giving you the guys. We all got AVAX entries last week. Maybe short-term traders take some TPs in the zone because we can load up some more. But at least if you are an investor in AVAX already and you have your AVAX tokens, this is telling you definitely not to sell. It's telling you that look how AVAX is holding the 200-day moving average. We've got Bitcoin trying to fight the 200-day. We've got a lot of coins trying to break the 200-day moving average. This has broken it, and it's holding it as support right now. So there's strength here, and it's showing that, this can be a really good run. I think the next leg on AVAX, we just need a short-term reset on the market so that we can just calm it for 2-3 days, get the RSIs down, and then we can hit it hard again the next one. And I think the next big wave for AVAX is going to be big. It can take us to the 120, 140 zone. So you can see how we sort of taking this market step for step at this point. Let's look at DOT quickly. So DOT, same thing. DOT only just reclaimed the higher high. I'm taking short-term TPs here. And that's the momentum it's running in, guys. It's not really moving in crazy momentum just yet. So same thing for DOT. I'm going to load up some more DOT between 18 and the $20 region as an investor, as well as short-term. Short-term, it's not crazy momentum we're moving in with DOT at the moment. So I'm taking a little bit of profit short-term on my trading portfolio. And I want to see a push here, next leg big. And you can see how that's exactly what we're looking for. And next leg, I think it's going to be massive, guys. I think it's going to be really big from the altcoins. But you got to buy the pullbacks. We've got to stock up on the pullbacks and get them. Now, the interesting one. What are we thinking, guys? What are we thinking with Luna at the moment? It's done well. It held trend, which was great. You can see how it held that daily trend zone, that momentum zone that I was talking about. And that's what you want to see. You want to see how it continuously holds momentum. It holds it. You see what I was telling you guys about buying momentum? You buy on the momentum line, you buy on the momentum line, you buy on the momentum line. That's how you structure it. It's great. And now we've got Luna now breaking through. So I'm not FOMOing in. I don't say anyone to FOMO into Luna right now, but you don't sell your damn Luna because this thing is just about to explode. It is showing a big, there can be still the short-term correction, and then we'll look at Luna entries at that point. But this is showing strong strength. Now, my next Luna targets, and this is from Fibs, I have the $140 region. This looks like the next serious mark, because what I sort of want to see from Luna from here is either we're going to have, whenever the short-term correction comes and we come and we test here somewhere, so I think we'll go a bit higher than where we are now, come test momentum line and continue, or we're going to smash completely through to this target over here. We're going to get a completely ripping of Luna, then come and test the all-time high support, and then we'll load up again. So there will be some more Luna entries as we go, but we'll catch it on a pullback. Right now it's ripping, guys. Let it rip. Sometimes you got to let them go so you can catch them on the pullback. Catch them when they're tired. Don't catch them when they're on fire right now, because it's just a little bit more riskier and it's hard for you to sort of structure it. So Luna absolutely ripping. That's where I want to be catching some more. So we've got the two sort of scenarios with Luna. Well done, guys. Those in the Luna, hold strong. It's going to do very well for you guys. It's going to be really good. It's looking strong. Kusama, look how we're still riding those Kusama trades from last week. We took some profits of 50%, and now we are rocking. So same thing. The only difference is, look at Kusama's momentum. Guys, use this. Track the momentum. That's what's going to give you the move here now. Kusama, I want to catch 140 to the $155 region as an investor. There's still, because my only resistance is here, it's showing me still upside short-term frame from Kusama and then a pullback. So you can see, guys, you want to know, is a coin going to continue or not? Go look where the nearest resistance is. If there's no more resistance and there's a resistance only here and you here, it shows you where we got to get first before the next correction. It's actually a nice way to sort of put it together. So the next one is only here, and then we got that one on top there. So it's showing me Kusama to still rip to close to the $200 region, a test, big leg up. That's what I'm looking at. So for those who are holding Kusama now, hold strong. Short-term traders, you want to take some TPs in the zone here. That makes sense. As an investor, if you didn't catch it here, we're going to catch the next one as investor entry, but you should not be selling, definitely, because this is finally reversed the big daily trend. And now it is showing tremendous strength upside. And look how far it is still from the 200-day moving average. It's showing a very big gap here, guys. And it just shows you how these coins, how they catch up when the market turns bullish. So Kusama is looking really good for me as well. Let's get to the big one, the Rune. So I've changed my charts now as doing some new analysis on Rune. Ripping, guys. What entries last week? I took a bit of profits too early in the zone over here, which was fine. I still have like 30% in, but I did take profits at that point, as it is my rules on my trading portfolio. Long term, I'm smiling because I got a lot in my HODL portfolio, and that's doing absolutely well. Now, this candle that we formed on Rune is a serious candle. And remember what I said here, how we have resistances here. You see this resistances, all of this. Do you see how we stop? Then all of a sudden we reset and then we smash through it. Then you see as soon as we smash through a key resistance, how we shoot to the next one so quickly. See how it shows you those gaps? And when you know when a coin's really going to start rampaging now. Now, if we look here, it's on its way strong. And its next one is only sitting at $13. And the one after that sitting at $14 region. Now, I zoom out and I'm like, okay, so where could it go? Like, there's my next. I got so many resistances here. Which one could it be? I now go draw my daily trend. And by drawing my daily trend in, it's going to show me where's the main zone of resistance at this point. Because we've had such a rocket up, there will be a correction at some points, and it will correct when the market corrects as well. The only difference is, guys, this coin's moved 100 or 150% in the last week, which means the next correction will be a 30% correction. It will be a bigger correction, as that's what this token does. Yeah, you can go look very clearly. It literally rampaged from $3 to $12. So it did 400%. And then it corrected 40%. And then we did another 400%. So you see, the range is very big with this token. So I'm looking at this zone over here. As an investor, if you got any entries in this zone over here, in that zone, I am not interested in taking any profits as an investor on Rune just yet, because I think this thing is going to rip in 2022. I think it's going to be one of our biggest gainers. I have said it for a long time, and now it's starting to work. But I want to buy more Rune now. So where do I buy it? Remember my momentum line. There's my momentum line. We did increase it, but that's starting to move parabolic. And I like to always be comfortable buying on my nice momentum line of where we started it. And I'm looking at a push through that can take us to $13. And I'm still looking at the zones of around the $9 zone. We'll update as we go, because what will happen, guys, is something will move where we'll have Rune shoot up here. And then it will start having, let's say, a big candle, and it'll start correcting. And when it starts correcting, we will track that. So when we're tracking that, we'll see. Does it come to this lows again? Does it not? But it's teaching you guys the main understanding of, like, look at this volume. It's going to teach you not to FOMO in. You FOMO in now, you're gambling. It's red or black. Go to the casino, it's better because you can get a free drink. You can possibly get a meal. You know, gambling's gambling. But you know what I mean? But to buy this properly is if there's no other coin that's showing a reversal right now, this thing's showing you like a lot of strength. So let's catch this thing at a beautiful rate and let's pay what we want to pay for it. And that for me is in this zone over here. So I still think a nice bit of growth from Rune to the upward side. And then I want to be loading more between $8 to $10 is where I want to load up some more of them. Because after this, if we break this daily one, guys, Rune's back at all-time highs. And we got entries here. We got entries. Oh, we were buying this thing as we go. And you see how quick. Doesn't matter if you were buying through that whole leg down. Look now. Now you're smiling. You've recovered. Well done. So you see, get out of the mentality. So Rune as well. Let's do one or two more. Yeah, we can get Carl on. Let's get Chainlink. So Chainlink, for me, short-term frame, I'm interested right now where we at. I am putting a stop loss which is under this low, which is around about the 15.4, but it's only broken that daily trend now. And you can see the next resistance is showing me around $26. So Chainlink's showing me a lot of strength. Now, remember what I was saying. It's got one more resistance here. After that, our major resistances are only sitting at the region of 25. Do you see the gap? So when we move quickly one way down, we can move just as fast the other side. And you can see how important it is that when we break this next one at $19, that's where all the resistance is sitting. That's where we were getting rejected previously. We can see a really strong eruption. So I'm buying Chainlink here as an investor and as a short-term trader. As a short-term trader, I'm putting a stop loss around 15.4. And I'm taking profits in the region of $24 to $26 as I'm sort of looking that main daily trend, which I'll show you guys now. I'm sort of looking at this. Same thing as the rest. Next leg, big leg up. So this is some good gains for me now. It means if I took some profits on Rune short time frame and other ones that rip Zill, any of these, now I got gunpowder. So where's the next one? It's only breaking day trend right now. So I can still continue. Instead of me trying to continue a coin that's already run, let me take some off there and move to another one that's about to run. Because now you're starting to learn risk management, and it's starting to play a lot more in your favor. So Link for me is one of my short-term ones, strong investment, and thing is looking good. Let's go through one or two more here. Theta, guys. Theta's still my one. It's my one that I'm looking at as an investor. I'm going crazy in this zone. I'm loading up a lot in the region of 3.4 to 3.6, 3.7 as an investor. This has broken such a long daily trend. It's very similar to Zill. Volume is only starting to taper in. Wait till the real volume starts to kick in. You can see what this token's done before. When it really starts to rip, it rips strong. And now we're finally breaking this long-term trend to the downward side. So Theta for me is juicy as hell, especially with as an investor buying any in the region. So remember, we've just broken daily trend now. Let's get my little Koki out here so I can show you guys. So we've just broken daily trend now, and we haven't reclaimed the higher high just yet. So you can see here, we've hit resistance, but this is where the two major resistances. So for me, it shows me this. A little bit of continuation from Theta, pull back here, and blast off. That's the sweet spot. Boom. As an investor, that's where I'm on. We got our short-term traders in yesterday and the day before. So I'll be taking a little bit of profits between 4.2 and 4.4 on my trading portfolio. We're doing some more here, guys. And then I'll be loading up on the next one, but I'm going to be loading up a lot on my investors list, definitely. As for me, it's a no-brainer when it comes to gains to the upward side. You know, a region back to this zone is 130%, and that's to a small view. If we go back, see, I put water on my keypad here. If we go back to where it really came from, we can see how big it is, where we actually are. We're catching it super early. We're catching it strong. So Theta is definitely one of my strong ones, as well as Gala Games. Gala Games, small little pullback. So this one, I'm not trading short time frame, as it is at a very crucial level. But I am looking for investments entries on Gala. Now, there's two ways to play this out. Is we are on daily trend right now with Gala. So it didn't close outside yesterday. And that's something we want to see. So we broke the daily trend. And now what I want to do, momentum line, right? Because if it doesn't hold that level, where's my momentum? Where's Gala? Why is this not? There we go. See my keypad's giving some problems. There we go. Okay, where's my momentum line in Gala? And you can see there's my momentum line. So this is at the end of the wedge here. If there is a short-term pullback at any point in Gala, it will be here to the 2.6 range if it comes early. But a closeout, so yeah, I want to be in. This is a long-term day trend. This is good. And it's showing me, do you see why it's just fighting a bit now? We got a little bit of rejection, right? Why? There's resistance. Okay. Now, if we break that one, where's the next one? Boom. It's up there. And you see how it paints that little picture for me. That from here, we rally, shoot, test, boom, next leg up. So for me, buying on the breaker trend and buying on the retest makes sense for me. If we break strongly today, maybe short time frame, just put a stop loss under your previous low on your 4 hour or anything like that. But investor-wise, your eyes are going big here because Gala Games rips. And, you know, we spoke to Hustle as well, and he's bullish as ever on the fundamentals on that as well. Let's quickly get Kyle on. Hey, Kylie. What's up, bro?
Hey, what's up, Sheldon?
What's up? Look at you, bro. I want to see. I'm sorry I went on quite a bit. I think I'm rampaging the guys with a lot of information. I'm going to focus the whole week on it. Let's get your stuff on there. I'm going to work on 1 or 2 more charts in the back end here to show guys a few more alts afterwards. And then we'll head it off and we take the week as it comes. Is Kyle bullish?
Yes, I am bullish. Let me share my screen.
Share your screen, brother. And go through your analysis with me quickly, because the last time we spoke very much about 46,000. You were talking about a lot of EMAs and stuff, and I'd love to see what that's all showing now. Like, what are your key tips right now? What are you looking at? Because there's the 200-day. Hit it away, brother.
So I love using the EMAs. This one over here was what we looked at before. This is on a high time frame, and more, for investors, just to gauge whether we are in a bull or bear market, essentially. So what I said is we really needed to reclaim that 46K area where there was that cluster of resistance over there. The great thing is, since we broke above this 21 weekly EMA, we also started to turn it back up, which is fantastic. So when you start zooming out, as previously mentioned, and you can go through the whole history of this, anytime that this was pointing upwards, the EMA was pointing up and price was holding above it, would retest at a support, bounce off, retest a support, bounce off. And pretty much that kept you in for the majority of the bull market. And as soon as you lose that and it starts turning down, it's essentially a bear market. And we spoke about how we were stuck in this massive range, which I assume we'll probably still be in that for most of this year. So with a lot of confluence with what you said, I also see that 52K region over here coming up as the next major horizontal area of resistance, which we need to get through. So maybe price could end up pausing there. I would like to see things continue on upwards, of course. I'd like to see the bull run continue. And I'm a believer that we're in a bull run and trend is up until it proves otherwise, right? So until we start making lower lows and lower highs, I'm going to look at this as a bull run. So, of course, yep.
Amazing, brother. So obviously Bitcoin's waking up. We've got the dominance turning. I'm interested in what you're looking at. Are you trading altcoins? What are your thoughts right now? I think we could both agree a short-term pullback will come at some point. What are you looking at from the alts, and what are you expecting from them, brother?
Exactly. So I'll go into the alts on the very next chart. I just wanted to show this. This
go for it, brother. Go for it. I'll be back.
Sure thing. So for those of you out there, if you have a look at this, it's called the Fisher distance from EMA. What it essentially works out is it has a look at how far price is extended above the exponential moving averages. Anytime, and I mark these out, anytime that you start crossing into these regions, so I marked it out with different vertical lines over there, there was a correction. So this is not to scare you. It's more to show that there will still be buying opportunities. Price pulled back anywhere in the region of 10 to 20%. So this is not something that you should necessarily use to fade a bullish momentum move. However, you would have a look at this for any time that crosses back down. So like that, as soon as you get the blue below the yellow, that would be when I would start to look for a pullback and start taking profits. So moving on to the low time frames on the 4-hour, very similar to what Sheldon saw. These are the areas that I'm having a look at. So I posted a chart on Twitter on the 18th with a potential bullish breakout out of this triangle, the ascending triangle. And we, of course, got that move. So far, this has almost been exactly on track, which is quite scary. It's pretty interesting, but it has a measured move up to $55,000. So on Bitcoin, I am looking for just small pauses in the market. Hopefully we get a pullback to that region. Sheldon, is very similar to what you saw, which was the 45K region. You got all your moving averages over here crossed. You had your golden cross in that region. So 50 crossed above the 200 EMA and tracking price up. And we have just this very basic trend line over here, which also has confluence with a back test of the top of the triangle. I don't believe price will make it all the way to the top of that triangle, but anywhere in this region, I think is going to be a good buying opportunity, 45, 46K to get into the market. Moving on to alts, also very similar to what you've been looking at. We have over here Luna, so the darling child of crypto, also caught exactly like Bitcoin. It's actually a bit lagging compared to Bitcoin, ironically. Difference is it's, of course, at all-time highs, which can be a good thing, right? Ascending triangle measured move I have is taking it up to, I would have my first take profit at about $131, so 50% of the way up through the measured move. And if it makes it to TP2, then that would be at $162. So it's giving you.
If you can show me in a quick, in a few seconds or so, how do you get that measured move?
Just one
I'd
second.
love the guys just to see it on how do you get that move.
Yeah, so very simple. To get that measured move, I'm just taking the base over here.
Yeah.
So I'm using this area as the base of, and then you're just adding that basically straight.
I've seen it a few times. I've never seen how it actually works. Okay, great. It's another way to
Perfect.
look at it.
And that's essentially a measured move. Obviously, this one's a bit sloppy, but nevertheless, so Luna's looking fantastic. You also have the confirmed over here golden cross. I love the estimated moving averages. They definitely are a bit laggy, but if you know how to use them, they can be a fantastic tool in keeping you in trends for long periods of time. So if you were someone that was completely out the market, you had the break essentially over here, I would have waited for a retest into one of the other moving averages and started scaling in from there. And since then, we've been holding that ascending triangle. It looks just like Bitcoin does. And I would expect
where we at now? Oh, there's the cross. Okay,
exactly.
Great.
So I would expect a breakout quite soon. Also had a look here at Fantom. So let's just make that a bit bigger. Fantom is something that I'm hoping to pick a little bit up of. So I'll just quickly lower the time frame. It is still in a downtrend. We have the lower highs coming throughout and making lower lows.
I think $1, brother. That's my first one. $1, $1, so, $1, 110.
Exactly. Yeah. I got 92 cents would be the range low. If it does get there, I'm definitely going to be picking some up. If I just move on to a lower time frame, so from a daily onto a 4 hour, I'll show you how I'd be trading this. So here you go. So essentially, I'm having a look at these. These are the important crosses that I look for. Is going to be this purple 50 EMA crossing above the 200 EMA. I like to see it above. I want both of these prices, both of these EMAs to start turning back up. And I definitely want to break this trend line over here. If we can break that trend line, I might consider getting in. I'll be looking for targets.
By the retest, brother. Yeah. So I think I won't buy the breakout, but I'll buy the retest, definitely. I just feel it was a big drop down, so I think it's going to take a little bit more time just to recover. But you're going to be smiling if you bought Fantom between $1, $1.50 in your life, like in 3 years' time. I think you're going to be blown away.
For long term, 100%. I think you should bring up in a bit. You can bring up those pie charts that you have just to reiterate to the audience how important it is to have those different investment portfolios, midterm trading portfolios.
Thank you for reminding me, brother. So, guys, I actually want to, before you continue there, bro, I just want to quick have a chat here. Guys, let me know what you think about a new structure. I want to make sure that you guys are finally learning risk management and learning these things. So you see how I gave this management chart here? Let's see if it loads up. There we go. Okay, I got it. You see here where I had your safe HODL portfolio, your medium risk, and your high risk tokens. I numbered them 1, 2, and 3. So I'm going to start putting these numbers. This is how your portfolio, especially your HODL portfolio, should look throughout this bull run. And I'm going to teach you when we start laddering some of our 15% high risk tokens back into our safe and our medium risk as well. Remember, I showed you guys the RSI, and I'll do it again in a few days as well, just to remind you guys. But I'm going to start numbering my charts 1, 2, or 3. And when I got the number on the chart, you can go look at the pie chart and you can be like, okay, so Sheldon's calling Gala games. He's calling this one. He's calling this one. He's calling this one. Okay, but these are all 3s. Okay, so that means 15% of my portfolio should be in these ones. And then if he's calling Chainlink and calling Cardano and calling all of these ones, okay, cool. So then I can go look, I can go think, what do you guys think about me doing that? Just so that we can work on a daily base of working together. And you know what I mean? You know the percentages. I think that's the main part. I think guys overput in specific areas. And I think that is going to help you a lot along the journey as well. You're missing super high risk. It's coming. On the next pullback, we'll buy some super risky, because now we know the market's looking bullish. So we're going to get super risky tokens, but on the next pullback. Have you got one more there, Carl?
Yeah, one more. Let's go to AVAX over here. So I also had a look at AVAX. So again, we got the golden cross. Perfect. Exactly what I was looking for. You have I'm just moving to the daily just to show you a little bit of a zoomed out picture. So we have a little bit again of a symmetric triangle over here. So the breakout of that, this is very close to a buy zone. It's not a bad area to be getting in, but I would be looking for
a little bit lower. Yeah.
When the entire market pulls back. I think you mentioned 75 to 85. So over here, I have about 85 to 90. So we have.
Yeah, I'm looking at it on the daily.
Regions.
Yeah, on the daily. Yeah.
Exactly. So I think AVAX is currently still in a pretty decent zone. I'll just have a little bit of patience. I think also a lot of the viewers struggle with that. I mean, I know that when I was first learning as well, you don't realize that sometimes these things can take a couple of days to play out.
I think they've learned. I think the 4 months of stabbing.
Exactly.
I think they finally like, okay, let's be patient because look, we're finally making some money again.
Yeah. And then the market moves very, very quickly now. So as you mentioned, you want to have your limit orders already set because it might turn out to be just a wick straight into that box and then off it goes again. You know, you need to be prepared. Have your areas laid out. I guess that's where your CoinPanel comes in as a fantastic tool.
Exactly, brother. Brother, we're running a little bit late. Thank you so much. We'll have you again on Thursday or on Friday and we'll keep updating. Thank you, brother.
Bro. Thank you.
Cool, brother. Guys, make sure you're following Kyle. His link is in the description. Make sure you're following his Twitter and all of that. So last few ones here. I know we're running a little bit later, but I missed one or two, and I just got to go through them quickly. So Superfarm. This one for me, short for time frame. Your eyes are going like this. Stop loss under previous low on the 4 hour, which is around 74 cents. So you are running a 10% stop loss, but your risk to reward is we got one resistance that we hit yesterday. But after that, the next resistance is at 1.2. So your gains are looking really good to the upward side. So as an investor, I'm super interested in Super right now because it's breaking a long-term daily trend. And as a short-term time frame, we've only just broken it now. Look at that volume, guys. Something happened yesterday. You know, someone was buying at that point. And you can see now how we're showing strength. So Super is definitely one of the big ones. We spoke about Coti as well. So Coti, I'll be loading up. I think you missed the short-term buy for now. We'll catch it again at 25 cents if it gets there right now. But right now, Coti is breaking the last main resistance. I see it rallying to 34 cents from here. And the same thing. Sort of give me a sort of head and shoulders. You see we got this left shoulder here. So here, breakthrough, get that higher high. Short-term, guys, take some profits. Investor-wise, you've just broken daily trend. Do not sell your Coti. It's showing a lot of strength. Do you want to buy some more? This is where you buy it. And you continue upwards. So Coti is definitely one to also keep the eye on. I saw we had Tornado Cash yesterday, nearly broken out of that wedge. So if it closes outside there, I think we can have another Tornado Cash pump back to the $60 region. We then had Arweave as well, which is starting to take off. So this is not a buy zone or anything for Arweave right now. Wait, I'm lying. Let's see. Oh, beautiful. So it looks like Arweave will make its way not too much higher from here to about $42. And then the retest, which is basically the 36. So you can see here how it basically shows me how we can move closely to the 200-day moving average, come test, boom, continuation-wise. So there's possibly some short-term trades on Arweave, but investor-wise, this is where you're super interested. This is where you want to load up. Guys, and I got tons more, just not enough time. So make sure you're watching tomorrow. Make sure you have your coffee ready. I hope you all have a fantastic day, and it's been a great week. Let's learn. Let's buy pullbacks. Let's set stop losses. Identify if you're a trader, if you're an investor. Let's work together, guys. Let me know about that structure if you like it, so I can start numbering so you know your risk assets on what we're doing. Until then, guys, have an absolute fantastic day. Cheers, and I'll see you all tomorrow.